Hey YouTube, it's Dimitri, and today we're going to talk about resumes and reviewing so many of them. Somebody put a cheeky comment here on a video I did recently, and they put 2,000 resumes over 10 years. That's like 200 resumes per year. WTF, you are in HR or AI/finance with a question mark here. Here's the clip of this. And I have looked at hundreds, if not thousands, probably 20,000 resumes over the years, over a decade here. So yes, I reviewed a lot of resumes, and let me give you perspective on this. So I worked at a small firm. I don't use any HR filtering processing software at all. Again, small, tiny company. I'm guaranteeing none of you have ever heard of this company unless I have talked about it on the podcast or on the YouTube channel here specifically. But I posted an entry-level position for this. I posted on my YouTube, my LinkedIn, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking to hire for a junior talent. I will get over 400 resumes per application. So over this time period, I made 3 hires, 2 juniors. So I reviewed over 800 resumes just for 2 positions. Typically, HR would cut me off around 400-ish. And again, I manually review each and every resume and go through them and then make stacks of keep and then toss. And then I refilter and go through these multiple times often to narrow these down to say like 20 to 30 resumes. And then I typically do about 3 to 4 interviews. And if I can't get someone out of that, then I'll do a few more interviews until I get someone that I want. Okay, so that's 800 resumes with just 2 little open positions, junior roles, model development, and a quant dev implementation role. That's it, small firm. That was all within like a short few month period of time. Then I had a senior person I was looking for, the director of model development, which worked underneath of me. I reviewed, I don't know, maybe 1,200 resumes. That's my estimate. I have no idea because I spent probably 2.5 years looking for the perfect candidate. And I went through resume after resume after resume, and we did job posting, and then we would take it down. Then we do a job posting, and then we'd take it down. And it would just keep happening like this because I couldn't get the person I needed. And eventually I broke down and we hired a recruiter who, again, went out, did some hiring, and brought me, guess what? A bunch of resumes and people to look at and said, hey, go through all these. We think these ones would be great candidates for you. Again, recruiters do an amazing job at narrowing this down from, hundreds or thousands of resumes down to like probably 10, 20 resumes. Now, that being said, on top of this for reviewing resumes, over the years, I have been a junior that's had to review senior hires. So one of my teams, managing director, was hiring a director to come in between us, individual contributor levels, and them. I had to review resumes for that because your juniors are going to be looking through the resumes and picking out who they interview for that. That's how that works. Large banks can see 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 applications for a role. Like think big global banks, you post like a student job opening or like a 5-year experience position, like 3 to 5 years, you're gonna end up with thousands of resumes. Luckily at big banks, they did reduce a lot of that work for us, so we did not see that. Now, going back through more of the resume pieces here. When you are a head of a department like I was, tons of recruiting firms send you stacks of PDFs and resumes saying, hey, we've got top of the line, best talent. I don't know if you're hiring or not, which I was not. And they would send you a bunch of resumes, typically 10 to 20 resumes per batch. And I would have probably 10, 15 recruiters from different firms, all sending me resumes. And again, I still reviewed and looked at them just in case there was a diamond in the rough and maybe I could screw with my budget a little bit and make an opening and put some sort of all-star on the team here. But again, over a year, 10, 20 resumes. I typically had a few recruiters per month. Let's just say 30 resumes a month times 12 months, 360 resumes here. Like that's easily in a year. So you can see the numbers of these add up quite quickly. And then let's top this off with universities. Again, when we do junior hirings, when I've done recruiting, for example, I went to a career fair, went to a few career fairs. I went to one of the career fairs and I sat and talked for 8 hours to students in an enormous line at a statistics, math, and quantitative finance departments, PhDs, master students, handing me resumes after resumes and me having a stack of these on a desk as I'm standing here collecting resumes for a job. Again, I don't count that in the 400 resumes we collect because that's separate. That's not digital online applications and processes here. So we go through this process, and then like these universities will send me resume books. So if you're part of a quant finance master's, an MBA, something like that, often they have a resume book. So I will reach out and say, like, for example, I worked at like University of Chicago or I don't know, like Stony Brook or Lehigh or some schools, Michigan, somewhere like that. I'm like, hey, can you send me a resume book? I'm looking to hire. There are two different ways this goes through. One of these is they will just send me all of the students in one giant book. So I could go through 30 to 100 resumes. And then often if they're nicer, they'll put my job posting up there and say, hey, students, we're hiring, who wants their resume sent over? And luckily I end up with probably 10 to 30, which is much, much more bearable here. So reviewing, as this person hints at, 2,000 resumes over 10 years is really not that many. As I mentioned in the video clip, it could be thousands, it could be 10,000, could be 20,000. I don't know, there's a lot. And then on top of that, I run this YouTube channel and I review resumes for people throughout the year. I have really cut back on doing it. It takes a lot of my time out. And now I have a service, Career Services. You can schedule an hour for me and pay me to sit down with you on a call and go through that resume. But again, it takes time and effort. And yes, I've reviewed a lot of resumes because you get a lot of resumes coming through the door. So anyways, just wanted to clarify that, give you guys some insight on how overwhelming this can be on the hiring manager side of this as well. It is not frilly with AI, at least not the places I have been. I like to give everybody the fairest shake and possible chance to get that job that I can. And doing that, I manually review resumes, and that just takes up a lot of time. So anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And as always, until next time.